you'll never know the heartache of looking a grown man in the eye, and he asked, am I gonna make it? And you've got a lie. Well, they call me Doc, but I ain't got no degree. When shit hits the fan, they're calling for me. From bluegrass, Kentucky, with red blood on my hands, nobody calls me hero except for my friends. Yeah, they call me Doc.
Hey, hello, fellow veterans and American patriots. Welcome to another episode of Shit Call with Doc. I'm your host, Rod Doc Walbeck, United States Navy veteran. With me always, your co-host, Army combat medic, Joe Misfit Glenn. In the back, always taking care of us, Brian Devil Dog Roof. And today is a kick-ass fucking day. We got a true battle buddy in this gentleman here. He's active in many groups. He's got a lot going on. He helps vets on a daily basis. His vet family, his family at home, a true brother, Brandon Creed. Welcome to the show, bro.
Welcome, Thanks for having me. I want to thank you guys for having me, giving me the opportunity to come on. I appreciate it.
Well, it's been a few minutes coming, and I'm glad it's today, man.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah. You were a specialist, a heavy wheel mechanic.
Heavy wheel vehicle mechanic in the Army. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So all the big trucks, all the big stuff?
Well, you got that title, but you worked on anything they told you to work on. You know how that goes.
Yeah, from a bicycle to...
It didn't matter. Yeah. If that joker took diesel fuel or MoGas, you worked on it.
Yeah.
Right on. So you know the drill with us.
Absolutely.
It's your floor today. You can talk about anything that you want from the day you were born till today, whatever you feel comfortable with. Let's go find some veterans and help them with your story, brother.
Absolutely. Well, I'll start out with what pushed me to join the service. Okay. I came from a very broken family. By the time I was young, my dad and mom had split up. My dad had moved away, and my mom had obviously met somebody else, things of that nature. By the time I was 11, like between my younger childhood, what kept me going was my grandfather, which, bless his heart, he's dead and gone now. But that's what kept me going when I was younger. But very abusive, very abusive childhood. I can, whether it be from my mom's side, my dad's side, it didn't matter. The most vivid memory I have of, like, most traumatic memory I have is there was a time I walked in from high school. This right here is what made me join the service this day right here. I walked in from high school just as I normally did. Had a mile-long list of chores I needed to get done before I could go anywhere. I walked around the corner because my bedroom was down in the basement. And walked around that corner, and my dad's standing there. And he says, "Fucking bitch, huh?" And I'm like, "Huh?" Just kind of looked at him funny. He says, "You're running around calling your stepmom a fucking bitch, huh?" I'm like, I couldn't even get a word out of my mouth, and I got blasted. And literally beat like a grown man at like 15 years old. Thrown down a set of basement stairs. And at that time, I worked at a local restaurant. And he comes down, picks me up, slams me against the wall, and says, "You're going to still go to work, and you're going to tell him you walked into a C-clamp into the garage." And I walked into that building through the back doors, walked over to my dishwashing station that I was due to be at, and very good civilian there. I had talked to him, very prominent name in the community. He was a state champion wrestler, and he looks right at me and he says, "Brandon, your dad did that, didn't he?" I said, "No, sir, I walked into a C-clamp." He says, "Don't lie to me." He says, "Because I'm telling you, if you lie to me one more time, I'm going to go kick your dad's door in." He says, "And he's going to look just like you." And Told him the truth. He went and talked to my dad. I don't know what happened. When I got home, my dad wasn't black and blue, but my dad had a different respect for me for a very short amount of time. And then it went right back to the same way it was. So then from there, that's when I decided I was joining the Army. The very first recruiter I come to that said yes, that's who I went with. I didn't research any other branches. Recruiter station was at my high school that day. The next time I went, and he was standing right there. I says, "Where do I sign up?" And that led me off. I did basic Fort Knox. I did AIT Fort Jackson. And from there, come home for just a little bit, and I went to Fort McCoy, Wisconsin, and then off to Kuwait. I was over in Kuwait. Did a little bit of time up in Iraq, 04, 05. No combat. It was all support. But without the support, the frontline guys don't have it either. So, but while I was there, I'll be honest with you, in my military service, like a prominent thing in my military service, I can remember being over there in Kuwait, and an E5 to me that wasn't doing the most copacetic things, and he got caught, and he reached up and grabbed me by the throat just like my dad did, and I snapped. I lost it, which ended up getting me reprimanded. So then at that point from there, and I always, even in my, like when I was going through that abuse with my dad, one thing I always turned to was cannabis. Always. Even in high school, I always turned to cannabis. So then when I was overseas and I got experience back into that same trauma, and it snapped me right back into where I had been prior to joining, there was obviously, there's cannabis around. So then I started using cannabis over there, which I got caught and got in trouble for that as well. But that's always been my lead, to get away. And when I was overseas, and I had talked to the people, the folks there overseas about what was going on, and they tried putting me on different pharmaceuticals and things of that. I didn't like the way they made me feel. They just wanted to pump, just like the VA always want to pump you full of pills. I don't want that shit.
Right.
So, but now, fast forward quite a few years later, I'm a very happy man. Very, very, very happy man. Happily married. I've got 10 beautiful children. My son's in the Navy. He's in Norfolk, Virginia right now, getting ready to go to Greece, actually, is where he's getting ready to head, to get on it, meet the aircraft carrier there.
That's badass.
I've got a daughter that I hope one day I'll be on here to tell her story as well, how cannabis has positively affected her life. Me and Doc's talked about that. Amazing story there. I really don't want to spill too much into it because it will kind of ruin that a little bit. But cannabis is an amazing drug, and that right there is something, like I said, I've always turned to that. I'm sitting right in front of my grow tent right now where I've got some plants started. Nothing's popped yet, but I just recently started some for my outdoor harvest this year, and a few autos. And then just like this morning, I was talking to a vet yesterday, battle buddy that lives around the corner, somebody that I know was going through some things, and I reached out to him at Christmas and said, "Hey Albert, how you doing, brother?" Because he's going through a divorce himself right now, and he's a 60-year-old man. Like, this ain't time of life for him to be going through stuff like that. And I reached out to him yesterday. I said, "How's everything going, Albert?" And good. I was just like, I said, "How you doing on smoke?" Because last year I gave him all the smoke he needed because he couldn't. He just, like, and I found out a lot yesterday, which has inspired me more to help him. But like this morning, I went straight to his house first thing this morning and dropped a bag off to him. He was still sleeping, stuck it in his window, or stuck it on his front window of his truck underneath his wiper blades, and sent him a picture. I said, "Here you go, brother." He'd been without cannabis for a month and a half, sitting over there in pain. And I told him, I said, "Don't ever do that again. You make sure you reach out to me." I said, "If I don't have it, I'll find it."
That's something that I've always admired about you, is that you don't just help veterans, you help veterans.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they know you were there. You leave a footprint
Well, that's like I
And
asked
I've
him.
always admired that about you.
I said, Albert, I said, why didn't you grow? I said, why didn't you grow last year outdoor? And he said, Brandon, I can't afford it. I says, Albert, I says, this year, I said, I've got 12 plants with your name already on them in my tent. I says, do you have a rototiller? He says, yeah. I says, all right, me and my boy will be over there this spring. We're going to rototill your garden. We're going to plant these things. The only thing you need to do is water them, weed them, and harvest them. I says, you don't owe me a dime. Nothing at all.
Nice. Yep.
That's what's up.
Mm-hmm. And that's my big mission. I just recently took state representative here in Michigan for Vets Grow for Vets. And our big push is, as we all know, from the start of that seedling to cracking that seed to harvesting that plant, it's very therapeutic.
Very.
And not only watching that plant grow, but when I don't have answers, I need to reach out to another fellow veteran that is going to have the answers. So that gets me to want to talk to other vets about that. It gets that vet wanting to talk to me and to other vets about their knowledge. And that's me. I'm all about it.
Yeah. That's one thing that we don't talk about much is how cannabis actually brings us together too. Absolutely. It's not only therapeutic for me and you and everybody else individually, but it brings us together and we have therapy in each other's company, you know, and that's something we need to talk about more.
Absolutely. That's I'll be doing quite a few events this summer. I'm going to do Hash Bash here April 5th. I'll be down there in Ann Arbor for Hash Bash with Vets Grow for Vets. And then I know June I've got an event there over here in Morley that is a big cannabis event. I'm going to go out there. My biggest thing is I'm going to be handing any vet that wants beans genetics. If there's a vet that can't start his own plants, I'll make sure he's got plants.
Good.
That's no problem to me. It's very minimum cost for me to have this tent running right here, to put a few seedlings in, to get them up in solo cups to hand to a vet to go, here you go, brother, grow your meds.
Yep.
It just saved that vet $1,000 at least a year just by him putting some stuff in his own soil.
Yeah, man, that's beautiful.
Well, here in Michigan, after May 15th, you can put them in the ground.
I'll put them in the ground before then.
Oh, man. risky.
Yeah, it's risk, but risk versus reward sometimes pays off. If I know it's going to get cold, I'll go out there and cover them that night. I got plant toppers I'll take and put them in the ground and cover them up.
Well, let's back up a little bit.
Okay.
So you get out of the service, and a wife and 10 kids.
Absolutely.
How did all that happen?
God bless your heart. Oh,
well, prime example, like my childhood, my wife came from a very traumatic childhood as well. My wife's got two brothers. My wife's actually adopted. Her dad and mom went to prison when she was a very young baby. They tried burning all 4 kids alive in a trailer house, and the fire department was able to save my wife and her sister. Her 2 brothers got burnt alive. All for money. So me and my wife met. We never planned to have a big family, but we weren't going to prevent ourselves from having a big family because she wasn't connected with her biological family. And me and my family, we had such a traumatic, which me and my mom now, we're doing great. We are. What's happened has happened, but we weren't in contact with a lot of our family. It was just us. So the only way you're going to build your support system, and you got to build it
from scratch.
And I'll tell you, for 12 years, I didn't touch cannabis because I was trying to provide for my family, and at that time, it wasn't legal, and I couldn't do it. The job that I was doing didn't allow it. So at that point, that's when I had to turn back to the pharmaceuticals. But
no, I mean, were you planning on starting a farm or something?
No, not at all, brother. Not at all. It's just, as you know, what happens. And
Well,
I love each
I
and
had
every one of
4,
my
man.
kids,
That was
and I
plenty.
wouldn't change it
That
for
was
a damn
plenty of
thing.
kids. Yeah.
Yeah, man, 10. That's you're doing something there, bro.
Yeah,
And
that's a whole baseball team with an automatic pitcher.
Yeah.
Have you figured out how they're made, Brandon?
Yeah, I was poking fun, and she took me seriously.
They were made in America. I know that.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Wow, 10. So, gosh, I drew a blank.
So when you got out, one thing that I'm curious about is what kind of work did you end up doing, and how did that part of your life start? I know how.
Well,
cannabis
what I'll tell you is I took what I used in the Army, and I made a career out of it.
There you go. Okay.
When I came out of the service, I stuck with the mechanics. I took and I was a diesel mechanic for quite a few years, and then I got on with United Rentals. I did 10 years with them. 8 years of that was service manager. But I enjoy it. And still to this day, if something breaks, I can fix it.
You're good at that kind of stuff. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yep. So as far as you're growing, how long have you actually been growing?
I've been growing for 4 years now on my own.
Nice. So at that point, I have no doubt that you have the skills to help another do what it takes to grow. And that's another part of the therapy is it solidifies my knowledge when I teach others. I haven't been teaching others. I've come to the realization that I need to get back to it because in my mental state, I'll forget things within a day. Like it's in the back of my mind. I've forgotten all about it. So like when I start teaching again, I'm going to have to go back, review my notes, get back into the swing of things. And that way I can, have that part of therapy too. I miss it,
Absolutely. The plant itself is very therapeutic. From the whole 360 degrees of it there's just nothing but therapy there.
Yeah. And I've said this before, your plant can feel you.
Absolutely. From
up to 2 miles away, it can tell your presence. That's what the science is saying nowadays. I think that's just great and interesting. Yeah. And I want to believe it. And so I'm going to, you know what I mean? But, my plants react to me. I can touch them and they move in different directions. I've watched it. I get geeky about it, man. That's just how it goes.
Oh, I enjoy my plants, man. I that's one thing, like especially even my outdoor harvests, I spend just as much time outdoors in my garden as I do with my indoor garden.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Have you found certain strains or certain methods of intake? Is it the indica, the sativa? Is there certain terpenes or cannabinoids that help you specifically for your things?
For me, I am very indica dominant.
Me too.
I prefer I don't care if it's first thing in the morning, if it's midday, if it's at the end of the day. I prefer my indica dominance. Very, very high sativas like the green cracks and things of that nature. I don't enjoy that. I can't say I don't enjoy it. I enjoy the buzz, but I don't get what I need from that like I do the indicas.
Right.
Yeah. For me, it makes it worse. I mean, my whole purpose of ingesting cannabis is to calm myself, to relax my muscles, mainly for my thought processes. I have too many things going on at once. I smoke indica dominance and pure, I'm trying to get to the pure indica, but I smoke those to calm myself down, to think of 1 or 2 projects instead of 10 to 12. That way I focus, I do better quality work, if you will. That's why I do it. Sativa I won't get anything done. I promise you. I'll walk in a circle. That's it.
Yep.
So it just proves that each person has to find their own way, and the importance of having a battle buddy with you. If you've never done it before, never tried certain things, it'd be great to have a battle buddy to go with you on that.
Amen.
For me.
Oh, we lost his audio. We lost your audio, Rod.
Your audio is gone, brother.
How about now? There we go.
Yeah, I can hear you now. Gotcha. Yeah, I had a call come in. I'm sorry. Sativa does the exact opposite for me. The same thing that your indica does for you, the sativa does for me. So I'll smoke a sativa in the morning and I can stay laser focused on my calendar and get my stuff done. So every person is different.
Yeah.
And cannabis will affect, different kinds of cannabis will affect you different ways. And you just got to kind of find your way through that, and having a battle buddy like Brandon, like Joe, like me, like a lot of us. Yeah. Bring a battle buddy with you. We'll help you through it, you know.
Investigate, you know, find out, and, you know, and then what everybody's talking about it does for them, see if it does it for you. Give it a shot. If it does that for you, great. If it doesn't, you know, just tweak it a little bit, you know, or go a completely different way, whichever you want to do. But that's the beauty of cannabis, man. It's just an amazing plant, and that's a facet of it that just boggles my mind.
See, I like going to the dispensary and buying the indica dominant and trying the different strands that are out there and be like, okay, how this one affect? I like this one, and then try finding that strand to put in the garden, or a variation of that strand to put in the garden.
Yeah. What's your favorite?
I would say right now my favorite's peach breath.
Peach breath.
Peach breath. Okay.
If I messed up and I should have mothered it out, but I sent one to flower, and
there it is. I've done it.
It's gone, and I've been looking and looking and looking and looking for that strand again. But that was I don't care if it was grown indoor or outdoor. It tastes the same. Both of them. They smelled the same. And it was pure heaven for me when I smoked it. That was my favorite.
Well, you being a grower, I would do some research on this particular strain. Find out what the parents are. If it's possible, find the parent strains and make your own. Will you find the exact? Man, chances are no, but you can at least get the same terpene profiles and the cannabinoid setups and all these things that matter. Say it's dominant in myrcene, right? Well, there's a lot of strains dominant in myrcene, but what was the other one? Was it caraphyllines? Was it, you know, the terpellines, or was it the limonene? What was the combination that helped you? Find another one that has that combination, or make it.
Yeah. Like I'll tell you, like I know for my daughter, the limonene terpene. Anything with the limonene terpene, that right there was the ticket to the gateway for her.
Yep. That's beautiful.
Like the lemon hazes and things like that.
Yeah, the super lemon hazes, the lots of lemons, all of those, like that right there was the ticket to her gateway right there.
Yeah. There's a lot to know about cannabis, man. There really is. It's a fantastic thing.
I grew one super silver lemon haze, and it grew like a crab tree. I mean, the branches just were, it was like what are those plants you do, Joe? Bonsai?
Bonsai.
It like naturally just did it. It was just
wow.
And it was the strongest lemon thing I've ever smelled in my life, man. It was so lemony, but it was small. But I don't know if it was a mutant or what, but it worked. And
it does a trick, huh?
Hell of a plant. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I usually get like maybe 2 grams of dried flower out of a bonsai. I don't grow it for the product, but most of the time it is some of the most potent product I've ever grown out of those little teeny plants, man.
Well, the focus is right to the buds, you know?
Yeah, I get it. It's really cool.
Yeah.
And fun.
So Brandon, I wrote down something because I see it a lot with a lot of the people that come on, a lot of the vets that come on with us. Bad relationships, abusive relationships as a child, teenager, what have you. Did you and your dad ever get things back straight? I know you said your mom.
I will tell you before he passed away, we could talk, and like I will tell you, my dad got later in life. I figured out a lot of what was causing my dad's aggression and it was drugs. It really was, because later in life I seen it, and later in life I seen the addiction to the pills, and that's another reason. Like you can ask my wife or anybody around me. When it comes to an opioid, it will not go in my body. Period.
Good for you, man.
I do not care. An opioid will not go in my body. Not going to happen, because my dad owned a heating and cooling company, and my stepmom was making 6 figures at a finance company. My dad got knocked off of a ladder 3 stories down. He ended up getting surgery, getting pain pills, they got addicted to pain pills, and they lost everything they owned, to the point that me and my brother, this was the Marine, went out while he was home on leave and picked them up off the side of the road and put them in my house. And they wouldn't get rid of the addiction, and I would not have it around my kids. Out they went. I tried. And you can lead a horse to water, but you can't force him to drink. And that's what I always said. I could lead him, and try to give him as many opportunities as I could. He would always screw me over. I will tell you this. When I went to basic training, because I went when I was 17 to basic, I wasn't 18, so I could not have my own bank account. So I had to put some money on my account. The only two people I had that was an adult was my dad and my stepmom. Did not trust my dad, so I put my stepmom on there. Well, because my dad and stepmom were married and they had an account at the credit union allowed him access to my account. When I graduated basic training, he showed up to basic training with a conversion van to pick me up. I didn't even know he was coming. I was like, "Where did you get this?" He goes, "Oh, you bought that." I'm like, "I bought it." And when we got home, he had this trip planned to go up into the UP of Michigan, up into the Upper Peninsula, up to Pictured Rocks and all of that up through there. Well, you know who paid for that? Came out of my basic training money.
Wow.
Man.
That's too bad.
And like I said, I had a very, 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 it wasn't just abusive or physically abusive with my dad. It was very mentally abusive. And I tried and tried and tried and tried. And I always wanted for a relationship with my dad like that. We had our good times of going hunting and going fishing and things of that nature like that father and sons do. But all the trauma that I experienced outweighs any of those good things. Any good memories I have is outweighed trauma. Like when I sit and think about my dad, that's what I think about is the trauma. And it's one thing that I've always strived to be. And I'll tell my kids any day, I will never be like my dad. Never. I will always be better than my father.
Yeah.
100%.
And that's a lesson that we all are
Absolutely.
supposed to learn from our parents.
Absolutely.
Some parents, man, it is my belief that some human beings are not made to be parents, are not made to care for another human being. Unfortunately, it seems like that's what you experienced. But the part that I see, Brandon, and I applaud you for this, is you noticed the parts of your father that you did not want to emulate and you did not want your own children or your wife to experience. And you did exactly that. You changed the path, man. And so good on you for doing that, man. And that's what made you so empathetic and so helpful and caring for other people is what you experienced as a child. So don't take it all as just a downer, man, because it made you who you are today, brother.
Oh, absolutely.
For real.
100%. 100%.
And that's a beautiful thing. Yeah. And I just wish more people would notice that about themselves. You're who you are for a reason, and so good on you, man. We need more like you, brother.
I'm trying.
It seems like you have figured it out in your mind to be able to clear yourself of everybody else's responsibility and the abuse to you.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
And maybe even you have found some forgiveness.
Yeah.
Because that helps cleanse your own soul when you forgive people who've done you so wrong.
Well, being able to drop the victimization too, just drop the whole victim thing, man, because if it didn't happen this way, I wouldn't be as strong as I am.
Absolutely.
That's the way I look at things, and it really helps, man, especially in the shitty situations.
Yeah. Well, and it's like I told my dad and my mom, I said, I told them both the same thing. I said, I love you. I forgive you, but I will never forget what happened.
Right.
Well, and you shouldn't.
Yeah.
No.
And you shouldn't.
No, man. You can't forget those kind of things, man.
No, absolutely. That's not anything that can just be talked out of your head or anything like that. That's something that's with you to the day you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hey, so we're about halfway through, guys. Why don't we take a break? And then when we get back, Brandon, tell us about all the things you got going on now, brother.
Absolutely,
we'll get more in depth with that and through all the different groups you work with.
Absolutely, I will.
The few that you do solid stuff with, and then we'll go from there, brother.
Absolutely.
All right. Be right back, guys.
All right, man.
Join us for Hero Stock, a special event dedicated to honoring our veterans and first responders. Experience a day filled with incredible live music performed by those who served and protected our communities. Connect with our nonprofits dedicated to helping our heroes thrive. Discover the services available to support our veterans and first responders in their journey. Bring the whole family. Kids will love the fun activities designed just for them. Reconnect with your community and celebrate the courage and sacrifice of our heroes at Hero Stock. Join us for a day of music, support, and togetherness. Check us out today on www.herostock.org. American made, better known, we are Doc Goodbeard. It's more than just looking good. When it comes to your beard, we believe you can have it all. Thoughtfully designed, unique fragrances, and affordable prices. We strive to provide a line of uniquely scented balms and oils that you won't find in other products. Come on, rock with Doc, and remember, it's all about the beard, man. So what do you say? Let's take that average beard and make it badass. Go to docbeard.com.
Hey, we're back.
I ain't got one of them.
Doc's good beard.
I'm a little different.
I got to give you some stuff.
Yeah, mine's growing inward. Yeah, the cross here. I'm always going like this, so.
Get some braids in there, man. You could work with that, Rod.
I got to get a little more distance, man. A little more distance.
Yeah.
So Brandon, you and I'm pretty for sure we met on the Veterans Canna community.
Absolutely, right? We did.
And I've met a lot of great veterans with TJ Durkin and his crew.
Yeah.
Great group
for
of
that,
guys
I wouldn't have Joe in my life. I wouldn't have Brian in my life, and so many other people, man, that enrich my day. Every time I talk with them, we do the live chats, whatever. They make my day, man. Some days you just need a good laugh. You might as well hang around some fellow veterans to let them slam you a few good ones, make you laugh,
Yeah,
so,
that'll happen for sure.
Yeah. So what groups are you most involved with? What are your plans? What do you got going on that you're allowed to talk about?
Oh, well, I know there's two groups that I'm primarily active in, and that's the Veterans Canna community and Vets Girl for Vets. I'm a part of other groups. Patriots Helping Vet with Tom Rand. I'm in his group, amazing group of guys there.
Yeah, for sure.
The Boots to Bud guys, I'm in their group as well. Not very active as I am in PHV, and not near as active as I am in VCC or Vets Girl for Vets. I know they're in the VCC. We've got a nice event coming up this fall that I don't know how much we were able to talk about that right now. But
I don't know. I haven't asked permission yet. So,
but I know we got a nice
orientated, and it's a great thing.
Yeah, nice veteran geared event that's gonna pop off right around Veterans Day this fall. If the stars align right, we're gonna make it happen. Doc and I have been working very diligently along with a few other folks there from the VCC and a few key figures from here in Michigan. Rick Antis being one of those. He's a part of the Michigan Weedsters. He very, very, very powerful guy in the cannabis community. He takes and he's got the Michigan Weedsters, and they're all about helping folks with the cannabis. He's got, I think, 100 and I'd be lying if I said it's over 100 kids that's in his program. My daughter being one of them. That he has guided through to get their life better with cannabis. And very powerful, very, very, very powerful guy.
Real humble guy too. Real humble.
Very humble, very humble. He sits he goes to the state capitol and fried and medicated just like all of us, and just he fights and fights and fights for for the cannabis. Even for the guys that have prior records with cannabis, he fights for those guys to get that off of their records now that it's so that it's not a negative infraction on them. He's an amazing guy.
Yeah, for those that don't know, the Michigan Weedsters, or My Weedsters, is a group of cannabis people who fight Lansing here in Michigan for the rights of the caregiver medicinal program that the big company's been trying to smash. So they're advocates of home growing, whether you're a vet or not, anybody. I mean, like, the world should be able to grow. So the Michigan Weedsters are pretty strong influence here in the state of Michigan.
And he's moving to New York. I see some moves going towards New York with him as well. So
yeah,
he got some things popping over there too.
It's like he's like, if you watch his Facebook, it's like, where in the world is fucking Rick? You know, he's from one side of the country to the other, down south in Texas and back to Michigan and over to California or Colorado. Fuck, he's everywhere, man.
And hanging out with some very, very, very cannabis prominent people though, Cheech and Chong and all those guys. And
well, he helped Chong get out of jail. Do you see that post? Chong thanked him for helping him get out of jail.
Yeah.
So, Brandon, how long have you been with the Vets Grow for Vets, man? I know Mike Fauci and Rachel O'Jay, they've been there for a minute. Like, as long as I've been in the game, they've been there from the start.
I've been a part of Vets Grow for Vets for 4 years. I will tell you, Mike Fauci is the gentleman that got me into growing cannabis.
Mm-hmm. Same, actually. I started doing that kind of stuff and was trying to get involved with him doing videos for the group like I did with some other groups. But that's how I started, was looking for that in. And Mike was one of the first guys that I ever talked to about it.
Yeah, Mike.
He's a Vietnam vet.
No, he's an Iraq vet.
Iraq. Oh, he had a Vietnam vet hat on the other day.
A bit younger.
Iraqi vet hat on the other day. The way it was folded, it looked like the lettering looked like Vietnam, but it was an Iraqi
thank you
vet.
for correcting me, man. But I like, he does seem a little young. Maybe he dyes his beard. I don't know.
Yeah, he's younger than that.
Yeah. But he started, and that's when he first started out, and that was one of the first groups I joined when I first moved to Michigan to get into the cannabis scene with the veterans. And he sent me beans, he sent me lights, he sent me one of my good battles that I actually live right down the road from, he hooked me up with. It was a guy that was in the group that was growing in the group and had extra equipment. And the guy met me actually in the city I was living in, and it was 45 minutes away from him. He says, "Here, meet me right here." He said, met me there, gave me a tent, gave me 2 clones and a jar of weed. Said, "Here you go. This right here should get you started."
Nice. Well, you certainly pay it forward every day, bro.
Absolutely, I try, and that's my biggest thing is I owe it to those guys. Got me to where I am to be able to grow. So it's my due diligence to help them help other guys get to where I am as well.
Yeah, my experience with Mike and Rachel, I have only talked to Mike a couple times, but Rachel I've talked to a lot. That's an American patriot right there, man.
Yeah.
That lady really cares about her husband, who's a vet, and all the rest of the vets, man. She's it's a great group to be a part of, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like I said, I've been a part of for 4 years. Just like any Facebook group, you have your ups, you have your downs, and you have your issues. And the way that I've seen Mike work through those issues was absolutely amazing. And now that Rachel's a part of the team, and Rachel's a very good face of the VCC, or the Vets Girl for Vets there to help. And she's very active in the group, and she promotes activity and promotes engagement.
And she definitely promotes veterans that are trying to make a difference with a business or a 501 or any way that's helping veterans out. She supports if you're coming from straight arrow, you know.
Absolutely, she does.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this: if you could sum up in a couple of few sentences to any veteran out there who's struggling and has never tried cannabis before, what would you tell them to do?
Well, what I would tell them is reach out to a fellow vet that you know is a cannabis user, and start out small. get you a gummy. Try an edible. Let the medicine work without getting it through the lungs and up into the mind. But let the medicine actually work on the body. Let it get into, if you've got arthritis, find that terpene that is good for arthritis and eat that gummy and feel the difference in how much more you can move your hands after a few days of doing that, and how much easier, much more limber you become. Because that plant, it truly works. It really does. My wife, she takes, and bless her heart, she takes all my trim and makes cannabis sugar for me. She'll take cocoa butter or coconut oil, and she'll stew it in there, strain it, and she'll make cannabis rubs for me along with some other natural oils that she's got, and puts it together, and it is truly amazing. You don't have to physically smoke it. You don't to enjoy it. You don't to get the benefit of it. Get a rub. If you don't want to ingest it, do it topically. Start out topically and try it that way, because it truly works. Whether it's an open wound, the healing factors in an open wound due to cannabis, like there is so much healing factors to cannabis. It really is. It's my go-to for everything.
Yeah, we even have our own Bengay, right? You can just make a lotion with it, rub that CBD right into that elbow, huh?
Absolutely, yeah.
For real.
My wife makes it by the 2-quart jars for me. I've got it in 2-quart jars, and then when I want some, I'll take and set it out and let it unsolidify, get it warm, and pour it over into a smaller container, and that's how I use it. And I use the heck out of it.
Yeah. I know there's more. Go ahead, Joe. Sorry.
If you guys are going to be making your own edibles or stuff, which I would suggest, I think it's way better than the store-bought stuff. Reason being is because you want a full plant extract. Okay, you want the whole plant in this thing, right? FICO, full extract cannabis oil, whatever. That's my best. But if you're going to have a specific strain in a gummy or in flower, and you're looking to relieve pain and stress, CBG, CBGA, myrcene, and carafilline. That is my little power couple that will really relax you. My muscles are always tight. I'm always tense. I'm always on guard, right? I need to relax myself. CBG and CBGA are where I'll take away the pain. My myrcene relaxes my body, and everything just works in, synergistically. Do your research on the particular cannabinoids and terpenes that work for your body. It just takes a little bit of time, and it's not a terrible thing learning all this stuff. I mean, geez,
yes,
no matter what. Actually. So just go with it, right? But pay attention to things that work for you and make your own, the full plant, full spectrum, right? That would be my go-to if I had any advice for somebody as far as edibles. And I think that's a great idea, Brandon, as far as starting with edibles. And if I had any guesstimate on that, if you've never had an edible, start with very low doses, 5 milligrams or less.
Absolutely.
If it didn't work for you, go 10. If it did work for you and it was too much, go 2.5. All I'm saying is do your research and pay attention to how it's
find your own.
You can find the good medicine that you are deserving and wanting.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I know that more research needs to be done.
Yes.
On these issues, but there's people in the game a long time who have seen the you're able to connect the dots after long enough time to know this one has been great for inflammation. How many times you have to see it in your life before you know it's pretty real? You know what I mean?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So connecting those dots is the crucial piece for a veteran who's never done it before, is to start trying to connect the dots with a certain thing for a certain issue. Yeah. And learning your CBDs is a very important thing to do. Doing your research. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the complexities of cannabis and our endocannabinoid system, right? All of that stuff is so phenomenal. That's where you need to do your research for your individual body. This is what it relates to as far as cannabis doing different things for different people, Rod, or Doc, whatever you want. But anyway,
it's okay, buddy.
That is the point, is that we are all very complex creatures, right? And so is cannabis. Absolutely. So you got to find your niche, and only your niche, man.
Right.
I can direct you, but you still got to experience it.
Absolutely. Yeah, like Joe and I showed you what works for me is the opposite of what works for him.
Completely.
And we get the same outcome, just two different strains, two different ways of doing it. So
right. I think Brandon got a call, man. He's just gonna have to let that go. It happens to the phones, man. But
I thought I had it on do not disturb, and I did, but somehow that one right there slipped on through, man.
Yeah.
But cannabis is beautiful, you guys. You just got to go out and do some reading, just do some experimenting, and like
Absolutely.
I said, it's kind of fun to experiment, in my opinion.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nobody's died. Ever.
Nope.
That's the key.
Brandon, man, coming out here and telling the story of the not so great things of your life. I want you to know that it takes courage to do that.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you for being here.
Yeah.
I thank you for being here because it's just, I know how important it is to you to reach out and find veterans that need help.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And
if there's a veteran in Michigan that needs help, even a veteran across the U.S., don't have to be Michigan. Let me know. I'll find somebody that's got what you need to get you taken care of 110%. Doesn't matter. But if you're here in Michigan and you need something, I'll drive it to your doorstep.
Well, this is the epitome of the veteran community. This is what we are all striving to be. Just like what Brandon's saying. I don't care who you are. Reach out to me and I will try to help you as best I can. And if I can't, somebody can, right? Absolutely. And so by us being the veterans and we know what we need to survive, we're trying to get this built up so much that we can spread this out to the civilian side and they can emulate what this is all about. This is what life should be. Everybody trying to help everybody caring about everybody else, man. It's not about being selfish and thinking about only you. I know life can be tough and we can get in our own little heads, but if you just get out there and share and help, man, life just gets so much better and so much easier on you guys.
Absolutely, it does. 100%.
Yeah, I've noticed with vets that are newer to the groups, they're just in shock and amazed that there's other veterans out here screaming to reach out, and they've been spending all that time internalizing by themselves, self-medicating the wrong ways, and had no clue that we're all out here. Lots of us are out here.
That's how it started for me. I had no idea. I just went out and looked, and I was like, I'll be damned. That's a veteran group. Oh, you got approved service? That's a veteran only group? And so now you start finding things like, oh, this is a veteran group this one's patriots. And so there's a whole bunch of civilians in here too. Wow, this is beautiful. And so I just kept going, man. And it's extensive and beautiful out there in the communities, man.
Absolutely, it is.
Which kind of leads me to thank all the people that have supported Sick Call with Doc that's been there for us. I beg you guys to share with fellow vets, other groups you're in, get permission, of course, and help us get Sick Call with Doc out there. We can't do it without you.
Yeah.
And we appreciate everything you've done for us so far. But let's keep it going. The only way to reach veterans is to reach veterans.
Right. 100%. And your views, your likes, and your subscriptions, the subscriptions are free, folks. All that stuff is what helps us, me and Doc, keep going forward to have more veterans like Brandon come in here and share their stories and get their bit out. And hopefully it resonates with some individual that can, pick up the game and come into the communities just like he did, help.
Absolutely.
We got the Sick Call with Doc page. We're on Apple Podcast. We're on Citizen Green TV, on Roku. We have our own YouTube channel. Spotify is a big one. Apparently, if you guys go to Spotify or have Spotify, you can go listen to Sick Call with Doc and go about your chores of your day.
You can download Citizen Green TV app, and it goes right on your phone. You hit that, and then you can subscribe to Sick Call with Doc, and it'll come up every Monday at 6 Central. I think, 7 Eastern? We drop our episode. Come in and show us some love, folks. We could use it.
Yeah, everybody make sure you hit the like and share button for sure.
Yeah, man.
That right there. If you see this video on Facebook or wherever you see it, hit the like and share button. The more you hit that like and share button, the more that Joe and Doc and Brian can do what they're doing and get this word out and kind of help everybody that needs help.
It's priceless and costs you nothing to hit like, share.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I know it takes some time, to help, but.
And a big one is if you do have Spotify or Apple, please rate the show. That's a big thing in terms of helping with the algorithm. And just like they say, man, we appreciate all of you guys. This, you guys are what keeps the show growing, and we also help educate the masses.
Yes.
Yeah. It's the most wonderful thing you could do for us is to share.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if there's any vets out there that's looking for that spot to call home, whether you're looking for cannabis or not, you don't have to be cannabis related to join the groups to get the brotherhood and the camaraderie that's a part of those groups. Reach out to Vets Grow for Vets and reach out to Veteran Canna community.
Patriots Helping Vets.
Patriots Helping Vets is another good one. Help out, reach out to those guys and join the group, join the community just to see what's going on. A lot of what's going on isn't what's on the page. A lot of it's what's going on is in the group chats to where you can actually sit there and talk to other battles or do what we're doing right now, but not on a more, just sit there and actually talk. And it's very therapeutic. Not that the plan itself brings us together, and then we sit there and talk about it, and then it translates into so much other conversation and so much other things to where if you're having an issue with the VA, I guarantee you there's a guy in one of those groups right now that can point you in the right direction to get you what you're needing. It doesn't have to be cannabis related. So if you guys are looking for that spot, reach out, hit us up. We'll definitely get you taken care of.
Episode 1, season 2, Bobby Liberty. Like a lot of our podcasts have answers to the things that vets need to see, So that's it's cool. It's like a history make in the sense that you can go back and look, It's pretty cool.
Sure.
Yeah. All right, guys. Anything else, man?
No, man.
I just want to finish off saying I appreciate you guys having me, and it was a pleasure, man. It really was. Being able to sit here and tell my story and talk with you guys one-on-one, it was amazing. I appreciate it. And if there's anything I can do to help you guys, reach out.
Brandon, I wanted to tell you thank you for coming on, and we appreciate you, and you're a fantastic human being. I'm proud of you, and keep up the good work, brother.
Appreciate it, man. You guys have a good one.
You're definitely my battle buddy, bro.
Roger that, brother, for life.
All right, till next time, guys. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.